Beauty Lifestyle Network is all about beauty your way. Um, you know, a lot of times people want you to fit into a category of what they think beauty should be. They want you to have hair like this or skin like that or dress like this. We want to give you options and say, hey, for however you want to do your beauty, we're here to help you with that. We're here to serve you with that. And that is the best way to represent your authentic self. And that's what we really want to do. We want you to be authentically you. We want you to be proud of you. We want you to be accepting of you, and we want you to love yourself. And we want to let you know that we are here to help you on that journey. Hello, how you doing? Welcome to BLN Live. My name is Dior. I'll be your host today. We have a real cool topic that we're going to discuss today, and it is what has what people wear in public gone too far. That's going to be our topic for today, and we got a great host of panelists to discuss that with us. And welcome guests to the show today. Uh, I'll just introduce you guys real quickly. First of all, briefly, we got Aaliyah Taylor. She's a TV and movie costume designer and also beauty entrepreneur. We also have joining us today is Eva Jane. She's also a two-time Emmy award-winning makeup artist and also the inventor of the makeup bullet. If you guys haven't seen that before, you guys need to check that out. And finally today joining us we have Fallon Walker. She's new to our group today. And welcome, Fallon. We appreciate you joining us. She's also a beauty entrepreneur and has her own line of skincare. So make sure you check it out. We'll have her explain a little bit more about that as we go on. So thank you, ladies, for joining us today. I appreciate it. And one more thing before we get started, I would like to thank our supporters as well. Beautiful Brown Girls, one of the largest online African American female organizations in the country with over 60,000 members. We have ANAC Pro. They are a professional hair care organization. They also are one of our media partners in producing a show with those guys called Home Hair Series. And finally, Sentinel Media that helps with all our production and video and all that cool stuff that you're seeing here today. So we just wanted to give a shout out to these guys. And if you want to support, contact us directly. Beauty Lifestyle Network at Gmail. And we'll get back with you and let you know how you can be a part of this family as well. But today we have an awesome discussion. So, has what people wear in public gone too far? We've seen a lot of this in the media over the past several months, from celebrities to on down to your everyday person. It's something that we kind of talk about, but normally it's in a very back and forth kind of conflicting discussion. And I wanted to see if we could just talk about, is there levels to this? Not to say should we or shouldn't necessarily, but if that's your opinion, go for it. And but I do want to see if there's a cutoff line. How much is too much? How far is too far? So that's the question for today. And just FYI, this is an open discussion, so whenever you feel like talking, please just barge in there. Let us hear what you got to say, and we'll try to keep it nice and fun. And maybe people learn a couple of things. Who knows? All right. So first of all, I'm going to present the question to the person on my immediate right, Aaliyah. So has what people wear in public gone too far, in your opinion?
So here's the thing. When it comes to what people wear in general, even though that is the industry that I work in, I am a firm believer of to each his own. And at the same time, I'm also opinionated. So it's a little tricky for me to even formulate an answer to that question. Just know that I am judging what I see, But then at the same time, I'm saying, hey, if that's what you like it, I love it, whatever. But I'm a laugh though. If I could, it's a mess.
So we hear Leah. She's very diplomatic about it. Do what you want to do, but I'm gonna do what I want to do too, which is say something.
That part.
That sounds fair. So she gives you her term of her term of the engagement. So Eva, tell us what you
Yes.
think about that. What's your perspective?
Well, I kind of feel like there are tiers to the thing. Um, some people, when it comes to apparel or wearing things that are meant really to be in the house, and they choose to wear them out for whatever reason. I think some people do it and it looks as though they're being more just lazy about it, which I definitely have my own opinions about that. But then there are people who do it in more of a fashionable way. And, like, for instance, there's a trend towards wearing um, things that are kind of silky and cute and maybe meant for the bedroom, but you do it in such a way that you kind of it's dressed up and it looks as though it's kind of like borderline and it looks good. But when you look like you just like rolled out of the bed in your satin bonnet, now that to me is yes, you've gone too far. And I don't know. I think it's an element of home training that's not there because my grandmother, my family, they'd be like, you represent us when you go out, and don't go out embarrassing me, don't make me look bad. So there's a sense of
Hmm.
almost responsibility that I take with me when I leave my home, and accountability. And I think that perhaps some of that has been lost.
All right, so
Amen on that. That's a word.
Eva
Yeah.
Eva comes out
Yeah.
swinging. So so Fallon, so you hear the two ladies.
Yeah.
Um, kind of let us know kind of what your opinion on this subject is.
Um, just kind of piggybacking off of what Eva said, I just remember at a very early age, my mom told me, don't ever just walk out the house looking any kind of way. You never know who you're going to run into. And so I don't know, that just always stuck with me. And she, going back to the bonnet, she that was just unacceptable. You do not walk out the house with the bonnet on your head without your hair being done. So it was just certain things that was just embedded in me at a very young age that I stick to. And I think for me have things have gotten out of control. This situation here with the bonnets, this is just out of control. But kind of going back to what Aaliyah said, I mean, if that's what you like, okay. And some people are able to do it with confidence, but some people just roll out the bed looking like I don't care and I'm going to the store. So I'm kind of in a toss. Like I'm kind of in between both.
All right. So we've heard everybody's opinion. Now, a lot of people, it seems to suggest. Now, do you think this also, the way that you feel about this, kind of goes along, I guess, generational lines or ages? Uh, Younger people may feel like I'm gonna want to do what I want to do. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and just like you guys did when you want to do when you were younger, and you're just being old fuddy duddies, right? So, what do you think about that perspective? That maybe you just, this is older people. Not to say that you ladies are old or anything, but maybe it's a generational thing that says, no, we were always better in my generation, and maybe we're a little harsher on the younger guys. What do you think about that line of thinking?
Yeah.
I
Yeah. I
definitely
think I
Hmm.
might
think
go
that's
on.
definitely a thing. Oh, oh,
Really?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to.
No, 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 no. I was gonna say I think maybe a little bit socioeconomic, perhaps, because I don't know. I have this is so bad, but like Chris Rock, in the back of my head, like with an old bit. and I'm not gonna say it, but he was just like, "There's black people," and so I'm like, I think that there's just a certain level of class that goes along with how you carry yourself in certain situations when it comes
Yeah.
out to the roll out of
And there's
bed
such a
part.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
go ahead.
I think there's such a it's so different. My daughter, she's 17, and I just kind of sit back and observe their little style that they have, her and her friends, and it is so completely different from when I was younger. So there is a difference, and I know you're saying we're not old, but I definitely get into mama mode. Like, is that what you finna wear? You know what? But then I have to realize, this is a new generation. They have a different style. But at what point, and I'm like, no, no, baby, you can't walk out the house, But that's their little trend, and so it's hard.
But are you
So
talking about a satin
Yeah,
bonnet, Fallon? Or are you talking about like, oh, your skirt's a little or something like that? Because I mean, we went through that with our parents. Like you might try to push a boundary, but you got somebody pushing back a little bit. There's some that don't have anybody pushing back because yeah. That's what
now,
I'm wondering. Are you
Yeah.
is this really a style that they're doing, or is it just like not caring or just being lazy? Yeah, and if that's the case, is that a big deal or not? Should they care about going outside in their pajamas or uh, bonnets or slippers, house shoes, all that stuff? Is that important these days, or what do you think about that? Let's start with you. Let's start with you, Aaliyah.
I don't think that there's necessarily one answer to that question. I think it really depends on the person. I also don't necessarily think it's a socioeconomic issue. I think it's just like people in general, like there's just such a range. I am thinking of like I read a book and it talked about how, and I can't remember what it was that I was reading, but just talking about how when you go to the doctor back in maybe like the 60s or the 70s, when you're going to the doctors, you're getting dressed up. You're putting your best clothes on just to go to the doctors. And just in this was speaking on black people, black culture. That was, you get shined up, oiled up, you put your suit on to go to the doctors. And I think that overall, just the way that people dress and present themselves has become much more lax. And but at the same time, it's levels. It's levels. Some people just don't care. Some people think that it looks cool, it looks good, because just as the photo that you presented, there's people in pajamas on red carpets. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think that took effort. You know what I'm saying? That was effort still. And they
well, that's what I'm
kind of,
saying. It's levels. Some
but I'm
people
talking about,
think
I
that
think
they
there's
look good when they're
levels.
putting on, right.
Yeah, I think that's different from somebody who just is lazy. That,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Some people
yeah.
think they look good. Some people are lazy and just it's whatever.
Mm.
But just because you think you look good does not mean that you look good. So you can run into someone at the grocery store or the mall in their pajamas and you don't think they look good, but they think they look good. Just like when I see women out and young girls out with UGG slippers on in the mall, they got their makeup and their lashes on. You look like a fool to me because those are slippers. Those are house shoes. And even when you go on UGG's website, it says slippers. It does not say street shoe. So
Okay. Okay. It
Yeah,
sounds like you made
I blame the brands for
an
that
important
too.
differentiation.
no, it's
Different.
it's labeled as a slipper on the website.
Yeah, but I
I
So
think
blame UGG for
that they know that people are wearing them as regular old shoes because the way that they put them out in the stores, you got them right. I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're marketing. It seems like there's like a gray line almost. Like I looked,
Yeah, if you
I was
gonna
at the
buy
beauty
it,
supply
then I'm
the
gonna
other
let you
day.
buy it. Whatever make you buy it, yeah, go on and get it and do whatever you want to do
Yeah,
with it at that point. but it is
Yeah,
a slipper on the website.
they say
The box
slipper.
says slipper.
They don't necessarily say house shoe though. They'll say, "Oh, this is a
Is a slipper not a
slip-on."
house shoe? It don't say
No,
slipper.
not
It
necessarily.
literally says slipper. The UGG
I know, a
slippers,
slipper. It's a
I have them on
slipper.
right now. It says
Yeah,
slipper. Yeah.
I got that. I'm just saying, it doesn't seem to me. I think the lines are so grayed and blurred, even by the brands. I went in the beauty supply, and the bonnet said day night bonnet. And I'm like, why would you put day and night bonnet on a bonnet? Like, no, you're like encouraging this. That's a problem.
But aren't the companies just
But that's when
doing
your
what the
tooth
people
has
want?
to kick in,
The
and
people
you gotta be
want,
like, I ain't wearing that outside.
but the companies are responding to people's usage. So they're saying, we
Yeah,
know people wearing them out. We're going to call ours the day and night bunny. Or the
Yeah.
slippers you wear to bed and to the grocery store.
yeah, this is convenient.
Yeah,
They
that's
want laziness to be convenient. You can't just be lazy. We're not going to do that.
But let me ask you, how many women or people you think really are when that's using this as a dual product versus just saying, hey, I don't give a damn and I don't feel like changing clothes. I'm just gonna wear this and I don't care about what other people think. And not that they should, but more out of just I guess laziness in a sense. Now I know some people do it as a fashion, and we can address that in a second. But the people who just do it just because they can, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do in life just because you can do it. Don't necessarily mean you should do it. But
Right.
what do you think about that perspective? Let's start with Fallon.
Um, I think it's more so they like, well, I can do it, so there it is. Like, not so much. I hate to say that they don't have any standards, but there is a generation that just feels like I can do it, so I'm going to do it, and they are confident in that. And so it's so hard. And like I said, it's difficult to really say, because it's such a different generation. Now, when I see people that's in my, my age range, and I'm knocking on 40's door, that is what kills me. Like, wait, it's one thing when you see these younger children doing it, the teenagers, but when I see a 40-plus-year-old walking around with slippers on and a bonnet, for some reason I'm offended, and I don't know why. I can't even put it into words why, but I'm offended. And
Yeah.
so, but I get it. I can, so I will. But I think for me, I look at that age range, and I don't know if that's wrong, but yeah, that's how I look at it. That's my perspective.
Well, it sounds like in your head, you're thinking they should know better. And you don't give a
Yes,
pass. I guess when they're young, you're like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
they're trying it out. They're testing their limits. But at a certain age, you say they should know better. Their mama should have taught them, or their grandmother should have told them. But you'll be
Exactly.
surprised.
I
There's a
agree.
lot of grandmothers and mothers who say, "Hey, do what you want to do. There are no limits."
Well, that was what I was gonna say. Because yeah, just as when you spoke about your daughter, the things that you don't necessarily agree with, but you're like, let her do her. So, does that not
Yeah.
apply there too?
Yeah,
Oh
I
man,
okay.
because
And
oh no, go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Eve. Yeah,
Go ahead. No, I was going to
no, you
say,
go ahead. Go
I
ahead. I'm
was
sorry.
listening to Fallon earlier, and you were talking about your daughter and the pushing and everything. And I did get a call, what, a couple weeks ago from one of the assistant principals. He was like, "Did you know that your son wore pajama pants to school today?" And I was like, hmm. I might have like glanced and and it didn't pique my spidey senses enough. It's like, I don't know, because there's levels. You do start to kind of like,
Listen,
I mean,
my
they're
whole
cute
freshman
pajama
year of
and I
pants.
college, I
and
wore
I thought you
pajama
was way
pants
better
to
than that.
school.
See, so there are levels to it
I'm
because
just
I
joking,
mean
everybody.
they're cute pajama pants. I'm just like, oh, they're cute. She had on a cute shirt and his hoodie and all that. So, but still, I mean, I get it. But it's the okay. I went to Ohio because I thought maybe it was just a Southern thing since I've been down here so much. And the young lady came out of McDonald's to bring my order to the car, and she had on her satin black bottom, and she had crust in her eyes, and her pants were just half. And I'm just like,
Wait,
wow,
at
like
work?
that's
Mm-mm.
you're at work, serving me,
I
bringing my
can't trust
food
that
outside.
food.
I'm like, I
Oh,
don't even want to eat
I
this
can't trust
food
it.
Mm-mm. I'd
because
be like,
there's
you can
no
keep my
standard
food,
there.
take it
No.
back.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Did you
I
brush
was
your
so
teeth today?
sad. I was
So
so sad.
It
it made me think.
take it back.
Now,
Mm.
Refund, please.
maybe this whole thing is just a natural evolution of what's acceptable. You know, years ago, it didn't used to be acceptable to wear certain clothing where you couldn't show your bra or your slip or what have you. Is this just a natural evolution of our standards and styles for today? Let's start with you, Aaliyah.
I have to say, I never care what anyone thinks about what I wear. So that's why I'm of the school of to each his own because I don't care. I get dressed for me. I do my hair for me. So even in my own house, my boo thing, he might be like, "What's up with your hair?" I look at him and I keep it moving. So, you know, that's why I'm of the school to each his own. But I'm still gonna laugh
Wasn't
if it looks foolish to me.
So you're saying basically you can do whatever you want to, but just expect the consequences that go along with that.
Yeah, and then it's only consequences if you care. Because
Well,
I personally don't care. So
well,
can it be considered even a consequence? You know,
well. Let's
like
let's
if
examine
you
that a little
can
bit.
now if it's gonna hurt your feelings, if someone laughs at you, then you need to check, double check, think twice before you leave the house, or take a picture and post it on Instagram.
Now we all know. Now, I do think some people want to be able to do what they want to do, but not get any kind of feedback from it, right? So they just want. Not only do they want you to accept it, but they want you to like it and glorify it and say, "Hey, you trying to rain on me?"
Yeah, I
Like,
think that's a bit much.
yeah.
Yeah,
So they want
that
you to sign off on it
come
too.
on, like
So
yeah.
no one says
Well, I
that
disagree with that.
you don't have the right to do
I
it,
I still
but you
I still
get
think
what
there
comes with
are
that,
different.
right?
Right.
Mm.
Now let me ask you:
I think the
should
satin
should there
bottom
be a
people.
consequence? Should we be hard on these guys or ladies? Should we be judging them when they decide to do that?
It's so
Now,
hard
see,
not
now I
to.
think that you just hit on something very layered and tough because I'm thinking as you're saying that now I'm thinking about how people may go into a store and the people that work there may treat them a certain way because of the way that they're dressed. Now that I disagree with.
Mm.
So I feel like now we've expanded the conversation, but
That's
if
it.
that's not really the direction we're going, so
No,
I
no.
don't have to
I like
we
that
don't have to
direction.
go down that road. But I think that you know that's up
I
to
like that direction, and I tell you why. Because that's part of it. You know, the way people see you affects you in a sense. It could be whether jobs, relationship, business. Um, you know, they have this thing called was it pretty privilege? You know, when people think of you as pretty, we kind of hit on this last week, but your
right. Yeah.
appearance affects how people treat you. And I think one of the reasons it hits so hard with us black people is that we've come from a past that we were treated differently based strictly off of our appearance. So our grandmothers taught us, make sure you look a certain way so you get respected in certain environments. So is that something that you think should be like part of the thought process as people decide to go outdoors, or should they just be like, I'm here and now. I don't care about what happened in the past, and but still, I want you to treat me right when I come to the store. Like if they go to um, what's it, Neiman Marcus with their slippers and hair bonnets on, they're gonna get a little different treatment, right?
I don't think overall, I think that some people do treat others differently according to the way that they look. But Neiman Marcus is not training people to handle customers differently based on the way that they're dressed. So that's a personal problem that people need to adjust, because I don't think that's right. I don't care how someone comes into your store looking. These are the service guidelines. And whether I have on house shoes, a bonnet, a swimsuit, whatever, this is how you're supposed to treat your customers. And so that I don't get jiggy with at all.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't think.
Yeah, that's more of a human problem.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate, though. I really do believe that a lot of people are still judging you based on your appearance. And if you walk in Neiman Marcus with a bonnet on and slippers, I really do believe that people are not going to say, ma'am, can I help you with it? It's just you won't get the same customer service. I just don't believe you will get the same customer service as someone that's coming in there with, you know, whatever, a Louis bag or whatever. I think people instantly judge you based on how you look, and it's unfortunate, but I do believe people treat people differently when they go to these different businesses and they look a certain way.
Okay, so all you
I mean,
ladies
how you
are
carry yourself
entrepreneurs.
makes a difference.
What's your question?
Period. I'm just saying how you carry yourself wherever you go makes a difference. Period.
So
That confidence
But there
that you
is
have.
a difference between carrying yourself and presenting yourself. I think that what you're wearing is presenting yourself. But that doesn't mean that you're not walking confidently, head held high. I feel like those are two different things. So
so you
Yeah, but
ladies are all
usually they have
entrepreneurs,
some type of correlation.
and then
They
when you
usually
have your
have
own
some type of
business.
not
correlation.
always. I don't think always.
I
Sometimes
didn't
yes.
say always.
Oftentimes yes. But
I
I
didn't
don't.
say
I don't think.
always.
Yeah.
I'm saying
Yeah.
usually,
No, I
like
agree
for
with you.
instance,
I
if
agree with
you're
you.
going into, if you're going in, you're getting ready for your wedding, and you're walking into Kroger or whatever, and your hair is still up in rollers or whatever, and you have on a bonnet, that's a different type of situation. So you might,
Mm-hmm.
rather than I rolled out of bed, I think there are just tiers too when you present yourself a certain way and the care with which you um, prepare yourself to present your public facing face, being forward facing. I do think there's a sense of responsibility and accountability, as I said before, to I don't know. I mean, I just think to the women who raised me, that I have, I just feel that, and not everybody feels that.
No, I
Well,
I agree,
I
and
see. I get what you're saying. Mm-hmm.
no, go
I
ahead.
think also it goes back to the African American community. That was what was instilled in us, our generations. That's what was instilled in us, and even the reading that I referenced, that's what it was discussing too. It's like we are black, we have to present and show up in this way, and this is how we get respect. Because I feel like it's more heavily judged in our culture than in white culture, because I definitely see more white people than black people looking like whatever out in the street, but I don't feel like it's necessarily a topic of conversation.
For
I
them,
think I can agree with
yeah,
that.
in their
Um,
community.
I think for us, because of the historical nature of our appearance being a weapon used against us, we have made that more of an important thing than I guess other cultures, in particular the white culture. Um,
Mm-hmm.
which I think leads to a lot of the generational gap in this issue. When you talk about younger people who've grown up with more white friends and around different cultures, maybe they don't even relate to that whole mentality as much as the older generation does. Therefore, they are able to just not care about how they look because little Jane doesn't care how she looks. That's her best friend. She does a sleepover over her house. So I think some of that makes a difference. However, bring it back into the context of them being an African American in this society. Would that apply? Would that same thing could apply when they go for a job, or when someone wants to present an opportunity to them? When they see you on the street, there have been stories of models getting discovered just walking down the street, or people just getting opportunities for people to just meet randomly. So, I guess, is there a balance between, being able to do what you want to do and still having pride in your dress, or is there a line that's crossed there? Anybody?
I don't know. I know for me, I'm always telling my kids, because now that I'm thinking back on it, I'm always telling them, it's not so much what you wear, but it's how you wear it. But then on the same token, what are you wearing? And it's just difficult. That question has it's just so many different layers to it, because it's just so hard, because I'm constantly thinking about my children and how they're presenting themselves when they step out into the world. And kind of going back to what you were saying about little Jane, it just made me think of an issue that I had with my 11-year-old, and I noticed this too. When I go out, I see a lot of these little young girls, these Janes, wearing these big oversized shirts with these little shorts underneath it where you can barely tell they have on any shorts. And my daughter asked if she could do that. And I said, absolutely not. But she's like, well, why? Because Jane is doing it. And I don't know, that just triggered something, because how can you really go into... What you say?
Can we name her something else?
We gotta use a different name.
Can we name her something else?
Jane
Dior's for Jane.
Little
I'm
Sarah.
sorry.
Let's say Little Sarah.
Yeah.
We'll call her Sarah.
Little Sarah.
Sorry, all those Janes out there.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm just messing.
But it's such a challenge.
Dior
It's just
that.
such a challenge.
I know.
I know.
I probably was looking at that shirt. All right.
So yeah, I don't know. It's
so
hard. It's so hard.
I mean, initially,
it is hard.
The subject looks like a slam dunk, but when you think about it, there's a lot that kind of goes into this, right? It's not just you're dumb little kid that you need to put on some clothes. The kids nowadays, they've been conditioned to think about things totally differently. They don't have necessarily the same type of racial conflicts and divide, that some of us had growing up as well. So they don't even look at it like that. So that being said, is there still a level of decency and pride that goes into how you dress? You can do whatever you want to, but is it a case to be made that one of the things you can think about when you go out in the public is that you want to make a good impression on people? Is that still important? People still care about good impressions?
I think it depends on if you need something from those people, or you feel that you're marketing yourself or branding yourself towards a certain goal. I mean,
but you never know who you're going to meet.
But the world can be a stage for you, and you can say, no matter when I'm going out, there could be an opportunity that presents itself. So it really just depends on your perspective of what going out into the real world means to you. And at that moment in time, maybe it's just, I really just got to get to the store real quick. I mean, and sometimes I think people need to be extended grace. because maybe you just need to run and get one thing and it's an emergency. And it could be that. And it could be that for all these people that we see. We just see a bunch of people who have emergencies and they didn't have time to prepare. That could be what that is. Who knows? But so I love how Aaliyah says, you know what? You can do what you want to do. I might laugh at you. You might end up on that People of Walmart website or something, or on Beauty Lifestyle Network showing you just walking through in your PJs and then your dress downs. But you might end up being that stock photo. And do you want to be that day?
Yeah.
There's consequences and repercussions sometimes. So God
I
bless
see
them.
this, and we said it, and I was almost to the point where I said maybe we should give him a pass, but something about it just don't feel right.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I do not
It's
want
like
to train
you,
people to
Dior.
think it's okay. Mm-mm.
it's just
People
Well,
should
I mean,
take
it's like
pride.
on every, yeah. I mean,
Say it, Aaliyah.
there's always a level of judgment, no matter what. When I was in college, I had a purple afro. When I was graduating and I had to go on a job interview, I dyed my hair black. I don't even have black hair, but I dyed it black
Hmm.
and straightened it so that I could get the job. I got the job, and then I showed up with my afro. It just wasn't purple anymore. But it's like, these are the things. It's like just a constant balancing of things, because we know that the world is very visual, the world is very judgmental, and it's like you're either going to and there's different people. Some people play along, some people don't. And like, big ups to everybody that's just like, I'm doing me, who cares? Much respect. And then I can laugh at those people if I so choose. But it's like, it's a lot of judgment out in the world at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
and you
So,
should. And what with career, they say dress for where you want to be. So that was smart. I mean, you were a chameleon of sorts. Look, I want to get this job, and the person who they might not be down with my purple afro. I just dyed my son the tips of his hair green. He wanted green. He's in the whole gaming world and that atmosphere, and it looked cool. He was at this conference. The lights were going. It was turning his hair all kind of colors. He's gaming. He's playing and it looked amazing. And they wanted to put him on camera constantly, like, oh, get behind this guy. So it just depends on what you're trying to accomplish in any moment in time when you're around people, because we are in a connected society and people help you get to where you want to get to. We're not islands. So you
so
keep that
that
in mind. I mean, there's that.
made me think of something here. We talked about,
Hmm.
you know, we, for the most part, we saying this is more prevalent with the younger generation. So I know two of you ladies are parents. No, how would you accept people judging your parental skills based off of the things that your kids are doing? You just said your kid had purple hair, and maybe wore pajamas every now and then. So, but earlier you were just kind of hardcore against the people doing that, right? Wearing those kind of things. So,
Well, no, I didn't say that. I said it depends on how you do it, is what I was saying. Because I think some people are just lazy about it, whereas some people see it as a fashion statement. Like I brought some props. Like if I just went out and I got my little head wrap on,
I
running to
love
like
it.
this is not appropriate. It's just not. Like I'm not gonna do that. Now the other day, though, if I'm out running to the store, now the other day I was on my way to a shoot and I was trying to keep my hair right before I got to the set, and I had it on till the last second. So I mean, that's why you're gonna be judged. Aaliyah said you're gonna be out. She was probably going. She would have laughed at me had she seen me on the way, probably to that shoot. But I had a mission in mind, and I can't wear that right then.
Right.
But
I've seen women
I
with their wig on their passenger seat, and they driving, and you look over, and you like, oh,
Hmm.
they got their stocking cap
Hmm.
on. You in your own car, sweetie. You know.
Okay. So
But
what's
that
the
made me
line?
think, Dior. I was going
No,
to
go
say
ahead.
that was a really good question, because you know what, I do not care what people assume or judge, as far as being a parent when they see my child, because they don't know what the life that I breathe into her. Because at the end of the day, I want her to feel confident, and I also have to trust the process too. Maybe it's just a little phase she's going to, and I don't know. I just feel like it could be a process. But to answer your question, I do not care what people think about me. If my child, well, first of all, she's not gonna have an abundance, but let's just say something. If they're judging her based on her pants, and they look at me like, how can you let your child go out the house like that? I honestly would not care, because they don't know what's on the other side of that.
Yep,
If that makes sense.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
All right.
agree. And when
It
he
sounds
And
like
told
we're
though
me,
I'm
getting to
not a
it.
I said,
parent,
give my child some grace. I said, just give my child some grace. We had a long night. We had a lot going on. And yeah, that slipped through, and he won't do it again. And that's just that.
Now,
That's
what were you
that.
about to
Yeah.
say, Aaliyah?
though I'm not a parent, when I was younger, like, yes, there were rules, like, you're not wearing your breasts out, you're not wearing your tummy out. But I dressed very differently than most kids, and my mom let me do it. And she talks about it all the time. She's like, "Oh, I let Aaliyah really, like, go wild with her outfits, and look at her now. She works in fashion." She talks about this all the time. I used to wear my summer clothes, lay it with my winter clothes. I would cut the jeans and sew them together, and like, and looking back, was it all cute? No. But she gave me that freedom. She never stifled
Mhm.
what I wanted to do, as long as I wasn't crossing a boundary in regards to what she thought was inappropriate, which is boobs, tummy, butt cheeks.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
outside of that, I could really do whatever I wanted, appearance wise. So yeah, so if you're letting your kid go out with the UGG slippers, pajama pants, then I would have to compare that to what my mom allowed me to do creatively with my clothes.
Mhm.
So it sounds like we're getting a little bit more grace with the younger guys. Um, do the older women
I'm
or the
laughing at
older
everybody.
people? So the people who so-called know better, do they get any grace too? In their 50s, 60s, wearing their slippers to the grocery store. Does this lady get some grace?
Depends.
I gave my guidelines. To each his own, but I'm a laugh. So
Yeah.
I'm
Does
gonna
she know
look. I'm
better?
gonna stare.
Yeah, maybe she doesn't have
She
anything
knows
else. I mean,
better.
truly.
Okay, she
Maybe
has
she
something
doesn't.
else. That big old purse.
I don't know. Is
She
that a
got some good.
purse?
I see some wine in
That's a
there.
shopping bag. That could be all her belongings. It could be she got put
To be
out
honest
last
with you,
night in the middle of the night.
I actually
Could
give this
be.
lady more grace. To be honest with you,
I
even
don't think
though
that's terrible
that's
though. She's
what,
about
at
to
the
fly
airport?
overnight on a red
Yeah.
eye. Yeah,
yeah.
she's on a red
Yeah.
eye.
Well, we
That's
know
not
she got other
bad.
options. She got a school campus.
Right.
And that's it's weird because that's
I think
actually
that was
the
bad.
precise example Monique was talking about, right? Women at the
Yes,
airport,
it was. Yeah.
and
Mhm.
in
Was it
particular,
that
she
picture
was
though, or
here in
maybe the
Atlanta.
bonnets?
What's
It
that?
was the other
No, she
picture
was she
where
was
the
speaking
bonnet.
specifically about
The
bonnets
bonnets.
and
Yeah,
people
Yeah, that's
traveling with the
different.
yeah. She was
bonnet
talking
and
about
being
that.
out in the street with your
That's different.
bonnets and pajamas. Yeah.
That's different. And those are house shoes. Those are not even like borderline. I
That's
give
what
the
I'm
Uggs
saying.
borderline. I still give the Uggs borderline. Those are house shoes. Those
No,
little red things with the
we have
purple and those are house
four
shoes.
bonnets in public.
Four bonnets.
Hmm.
Now,
As devil's advocate, those aren't sold on any website. Those came from a beauty supply store. They don't have no label on it. They just something for your feet. So they ain't know no better.
You said they something for your feet, so you don't get gravel in your toes.
It was just
now,
so shocking. We
Oh
were
my
talking
gosh.
earlier. It was just so shocking to me when Monique did the whole bonnet thing. I don't know. I was just so surprised how many people were just at her. Like, How dare you? I thought it was common to not walk out the house with the bonnet. I did. I just thought that was just a known thing.
But you
to
see
see
so
those
many
people
bonnets
attack
in the
her,
street. Of course, people were mad.
But who?
it seemed
But
like I
who?
Mad that she talked
Okay,
about
I
it.
have a survey. I have a survey. How many of the women on this panel have gone out of their house in a bonnet? Raise your hand.
I don't wear a bonnet, period. I don't even own a bonnet.
I don't
no,
either.
So
But
no.
no,
see, yeah, see.
no.
So you know what? I'm still gonna say it has something to do with. Okay, and when I
Chris
say
Rock's.
socioeconomic, I don't mean like you're uber rich or anything. I mean rich inside. I'll say it that way. Socioeconomically rich inside, like with
So you
pride.
saying the
No,
ghetto mentality?
I think we all have that. It's a mentality.
Listen, I got a lot to get to in me, so
So let me ask you. So it
I don't
sounds like
mind. I don't like scarves. The only time I'm even tying my hair, period, is I had to tie it down after I put my gel on, and I took it right off. I
To
don't like stuff on
style.
my head, so I don't even fit into that.
Hmm.
I I don't fit into that.
Yeah.
Period.
now it sounds like that you guys are a little less forgiving with the bonnet versus sleepwear. Is that like a huge difference? Like, what's the difference in that to your thinking on that? Let's start with you, Fallon, because you sound like you had
Not
strong
me.
opinions about that.
It's just something about that bonnet that just bothers me. I don't know. But as far as like just wearing loungewear out, I really blame COVID because I didn't notice it, and maybe it's just me just being oblivious. But it just seems COVID has people just being really, really lazy. So I blame COVID. I so with I give more grace to loungewear. I give no grace to bonnets. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I don't.
So, the rest of you ladies feel the same
I don't
way?
blame you. You
Well,
said what? Do we
I
feel the
gave
same?
my disclaimer. I'm
Yeah.
laughing at anything
She
that don't look
said
good.
do what you
So
like. Now there was a trend, and I brought this little silky thing out because there was a cute trend that I saw where women were wearing basically just robes, the little silky robes, and putting like a little cami or something under and wear them with jeans and I actually thought that was kind of cute. So but to me it was because they put forth some effort to like dress it up and repurpose something to be cute, not man, I don't feel I'm just gonna go. It's the intention, I think, is there was some intention there to be kind of cute and trendy and fashionable,
Mm-hmm.
not lazy.
So, the
Lazy,
lazy
not
part
well.
I
seems to
can
be the sticking point.
absolutely agree with that. I can
So, you like.
absolutely agree with that because
So
I
you.
also believe. Oh,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I believe. Okay, so when it comes to style, fashion, like yes, there are rules set in place, but I feel like you can do anything if it's executed properly. Just like I feel like there's an art to mismatching. Everyone cannot
Hmm.
mismatch well. It's how you do it is going to determine
Hmm.
if it looks good or not. So, to
Hmm.
your point.
Hmm. Okay. So, it seems like the sticking point is just not giving a damn. When you're too lazy and you just not caring. Is that what it is? Is that what we don't like?
Not for me because some people do give a damn and they put time and effort into it and it looks a mess and I'm still gonna laugh. So
Yeah.
So, everyone who's
You're
wearing a
gonna pull it
bonnet
off.
or something like that, or some slippers, they just need a T-shirt that says "Sorry, I tried." Did they get a pass?
not necessarily because to even James' point, some of them tried, some of them didn't.
I know.
Now
I
I
know.
have to go back on my word because I just recently I did my makeup, and so my makeup was like the bomb, and I was so excited about my makeup, and so I posted a picture on my stories. I did have on a bonnet. I did, but I was trying people. I wanted people to focus on my face, and so now that I
You
think
weren't
about it, you
outside.
know, that's still yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't go outside the house with the bonnet, but I put my focus on, but I had my bonnet on. And I didn't even think twice about it. But so I just thought about that. I was like, I posted on social media with the bunny, but I wouldn't go out in public with the bunny. No way, no how.
Now let me ask you. No, we all into being comfortable and convenience and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how many instances? Now I know we see other people on the days we're together, and we're like telling them like, "That's you shouldn't wear that," or "You look, sloppy" or whatever. But how many times have we put ourselves in situations where we didn't go out looking our best, and we could have easily been just as judged, right? Throw their hair in a ponytail.
That's why I told you already.
Scrunchy. Now, who goes to the mailbox fully dressed? Like if you got a mailbox at your house, you wearing slippers. That's outside. You might have a house coat on, rollers in your hair.
I walk barefoot sometimes.
Yeah. So, to me, we're kind of trying to decide what environments are appropriate to kind of let yourself go a little bit. Some people apparently have deemed the airport as one of those places. The grocery store is one of those places. They say, I'm not trying to impress. I don't care about if I get any opportunities here. I don't know these people. Say whatever you like.
Yes, respect to them. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yes,
Right.
you are very bold. Yeah.
Yeah, so really, you guys is not bold enough. Really. If you were bold enough,
Care too much.
you care too much. Now, whose problem is that? Now, is that the public's problem? Or is that you guys' problem that you still care about what the public has to say about you? Who's at fault?
Well, I already gave my disclaimer. I don't give a damn.
So, Fallon, do you care too much? No. Someone who's went to the grocery store, they may be saying, you care too much, Fallon. You're going to stress yourself out. Life's too short. Why do you care so much?
I mean, you don't have to show up at the grocery store with, a beat face and just don't let it look like you rolled out the bed. There's a difference. Just don't look like, to me, that says, yeah, wash your face. That costs nothing. Wash your face, pull your hair in a ponytail, put on a clean shirt, put on some jeans. It's really simple. To me, you put more of an effort in not caring. Like, I don't know, but I did have a moment. I just thought about it. I did have a moment recently where I was running to the store. I was sending my daughter into the store for me. Let me be specific. So I did walk out the house with my slippers on, and unfortunately, on the way home, we got into a car wreck. And thank God we was okay. But I had on my slippers, and I was thinking about my slippers. I was like, gosh, these people looking at me, and I got these slippers on, and they probably didn't even care. But I was thinking.
Okay.
I was thinking about the wrong thing. I was worried about the wrong.
I might have to go back and replay the video from beginning to discussion from both you and Eva. Because y'all are contradicting yourself right now.
What? I'm thinking back now. I'm thinking about certain scenarios and situations.
Oh, okay.
I did sit there on that ground. Yeah, I did sit there on that ground. People were worried about me. I was like, oh, wow, I have on these slippers, and didn't nobody care but me. But typically,
well, somebody cared.
I don't know, just in that instance, I thought about it.
Somebody saw you sitting on the side of that road and was judging you up and down, saying your mama didn't raise you right.
I believe it.
All right. So we got about 3 or 4 more minutes, and this has been very interesting. From my point of view, it seems like we've kind of did a full 360 actually, or 180. Have you? It seems like we started here and we evolved all the way over here. We've shown more grace because we think we realize that could be us, right?
Yeah.
All right. Who is fumbling with that mic? I'm gonna have to call you out. Stop it.
I think that's
Well, that
Eva. I
works.
think
All right, that worked. Awesome. So I like the fact
I can't hear y'all, so forgive me.
you can't hear. So I like the fact that we kind of started off. Everyone had these definite ideas of what's right and wrong, but it's funny to see once it applies
Torian, do me a favor.
to you personally how you get more forgiving, right? And that's kind of like human nature. Kind of like human nature. And I do want to get you guys' final thoughts on kind of
Mhm.
this topic and kind of maybe how you see in yourself how maybe your opinion is shifted or your point of view is shifted on this. Let's start with you, Aaliyah.
I still stand firm in to each his own. And also, it's my right to laugh if I think it looks foolish. Honestly, overall, I'm never going to tell someone what they should or should not wear unless it's asked of me and I'm submitting an invoice, because obviously that's what I do professionally. And I think it's probably it's probably interesting that I am a person that really, I just believe in freedom of do what you like. Do what you like. Yeah. I don't know. That's my standpoint on it. And even though it's what I do professionally, that's still, you know, because I don't want anyone telling me what I should or should not do. Do I think about it sometimes? Yes, absolutely. I do think about, okay, how is this going to how will people read this? And sometimes in certain instances I will dress down and not be as wild and crazy based on the situation. So, I guess I say that to say sometimes I do care, more so than I'm saying I don't care. But like Eva Jane said, if you need something from somebody, you're gonna show up the way, you're gonna present yourself in the manner that you need to get what you need.
I like that. I like that. So, how about you, Fallon? Kind of give me your thoughts on this as we wrap this up today.
This was a really good conversation. My perspective have changed because ultimately I don't necessarily care what people wear, but I am paying attention. And I am human, and so I might judge. And I should give people more grace because, like my situation where I had my the wrong slippers on. You just never know other people's situation when they're walking into a store, or you honestly just don't. So my perspective have changed. I will give people more grace and try to be less judgmental if possible.
Well, we didn't intend for you to do that. That's not our purpose. But that's interesting. You know, I kind of felt the same way. Um, that I felt very strong about it. But when you start to think about it, you get in those situations yourself. I've stepped out the house and stuff that people probably judge me on. So I can totally understand that. Um, I think Eva is gone for today.
She's
I can hear her.
Oh wait, we can hear. Oh, oh yeah,
Oh,
she has
Eva.
technical difficulties.
She's having technical difficulties. But let's see here. I'm gonna try to work this out with Eva's audio here. That's what happened with a live show. Sometimes it's
That's
like
show
this.
biz, folks. Gotta
Let's
make it
see.
work.
I know, right? Just give me one moment. Uh,
I'm
there
loving
we
your
go.
makeup, Miss Ma'am. You look
Okay.
fantastic over there.
Yeah. So, my thoughts,
Thank you. Thank you.
just to kind of wrap this up today, is that you really can do whatever you want to. However, people may judge you, and if you're strong enough to do whatever you want to, you need to be strong enough to take the judgment. But at the same time, just be aware, there are consequences to your appearance. Some could be positive, some could be negative. If you want the positive consequences, dress appropriately. Like Aaliyah said, if you want something, make sure you dress to impress so you can get what you want. If you don't care, and if you're thinking you can't benefit from some encounter that you meet with somebody spontaneously out in the public, then of course, do what you feel like, and accept the consequences that go with that. But with that being said, I'd like to thank my guest today for joining us and engaging us in this really cool conversation. We do this every week, Sundays, 7 p.m., BLN Live. Make sure you join us. If you missed this live version, we'll have the recorded version available for you online on YouTube and on our website at beautylifestylenetwork.com. So make sure you check that out. And again, we'd like to thank our supporters. We have Beautiful Brown Girls, NAC Pro, and Sentinel Media for being a part of this. And we'll see you next time. Thank you guys very much. And make sure you join us next Sunday, 7 p.m. We got a really cool topic. I wish I knew the name. But go online. You'll find the topic later. You'll find the topic there. All right. We'll see you next time, guys. Good night.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Beauty products was not that great of an experience. I can remember when I was looking for makeup for my skin, and I had been using an organic makeup that I was getting from a very expensive grocery store. I didn't feel comfortable, like I had an opportunity to ask any questions about the product. And when I finally did get to a consultant and ask them, what's in this lipstick, what's in this, they really didn't know. So when it came to my hair, that was even harder. I would go into the beauty supply, and as you know, it's just aisles and aisles and aisles of product. But what I didn't know, what was right for my natural hair. And again, I was faced with the same dilemma. Who can I ask? Nobody really knew anything about these products. They were just selling them. It wasn't a great experience, not being able to get the right amount of information from the people who I was buying the products from. So that's one of the things that I love about the Beauty Lifestyle Network, is that it's a community of information as well as a bunch of great products that have been proven to really, really give you the look that you're looking for when it comes to your hair, skin, and body.